So welcome back to week 3 of my London vlog. So happy to see you again. As I said last time, I kind of switched the days and when I'm starting, so I'm now going to start with Sunday, October 1st, and go through until Saturday, October 7th, and hopefully I'll get it down under 10 minutes as opposed to 20 as it's been. So Sunday, I finally got to go to Mass. Yay! I found the church that my buddy from school had told me about, and I went to the 11 o'clock Mass, so it was like a family Mass, and there were kids there who were preparing for their confirmation, and there was a ton of people and families, and I was wedged in between all these different families and kids and parents, and so it was quite lovely. And the church is actually right on, it's called the High Road, and it's just a road nearby where I live that has a bunch of shops and things. So after Mass I just went and walked around and looked at things, and I was waiting because I was supposed to meet up with a group of students at the Queen Victoria pub to eat lunch and then go on a walk in Epping Forest. So I kind of putzed around and then I went to the Victoria, but nobody was there. I was drinking a beer by myself. So I finally just got up and left, and I was gonna go just get some food because I was very intimidated by the pub vibe because I didn't know it was very full and there wasn't a formal way to be seated, so I just didn't deal with it. But I had found this pizza place that looked really interesting, and I was like, I'm gonna go get some pizza. It's Sunday. And I went and I walked in, and again, it was confusing. I didn't know if you were supposed to sit down, like seat yourself, or be seated. A lot of the places are like that, and you have to talk to people to figure it out. I'm just kidding. Kind of. Anyway, but I did ask a guy, and I said, okay, do I seat myself? And he said, oh, here, and he took care of me. But he said, I said, do I seat myself? He said, oh, I'll take you wherever. And he said, how many? And I said, just me. And he went, just you? And I thought, yeah. Oh well, I ate my pizza by myself and I enjoyed it. Afterwards, though, I did go back to the pub to check and see if people were there at that point, and they were. So that was nice. I met up with some more students, and we just had a very lovely walk through Epping Forest, and it was beautiful, and I put a lot of pictures on Facebook, because that was 2 weeks ago, so if you haven't seen them, they're there. And then Monday the 2nd was the first day of classes, yay! So, okay, that was really exciting, and to start off my East 15 experience, I started the day with 4 hours of articulation, which was great. I was geeking out. I was like, this is so wonderful. It was so specific, and all the little nuances that we were learning with the IPA, and we were learning nasal sounds and plosives, and my nerd was really showing because it made me really, really happy. But that's kind of how the schedule works, is there's either because we go from 9 in the morning until 6 in the evening with an hour lunch break, and it's broken up into 2-hour segments, and you can either have a class for just 2 hours, or it could be 4, or there is, so far every week there has been a day where you just do acting all day long, which is crazy but important. So that was fun. Did articulation. It was exhausting to be doing that for so long after having done no studying all summer, but I've gotten used to it at this point. But so through the week, we were taking articulation, Laban, who's a movement theorist, voice, so speaking voice, music, singing, and what else? Physical theater, which is really cool. It's based off of Grotowski's theories with his Poor Theater, which was actually more of, technically it was like a workshop for actors to get away from all the spectacle that had come into theater. And it was a space where they could strip theater down to the bare minimums, which is an actor, an audience, and a space. And it kind of launched off into its own thing. But anyway, it's really cool and I really love it. Get a little history lesson. Look at that. And then acting. And the other thing about our schedule is that we're split up into three. There's 50 students about, but we're split up into 3 groups of about 16. And I'm in the A group. No correlation. But what happens is there are also 3 schedules, and each week you move from one schedule to the other. So that first week I was in schedule 1, and then this past week schedule 2, and then it keeps going like that, which is interesting. For I think 4 weeks, so not too long. And then we get into Shakespeare stuff, but that's neither here nor now. But so this week we had one professor for acting, and then the next week we'll have had a different professor. But anyway, it's been really good. It's been great. I've been learning a lot, and even in one conversation with an acting instructor, I made what I felt was a reassuring progress in one conversation. So I'm very excited. I think I'm in the right place, in case you were wondering. So that just doing the whole week with classes and things. And then the highlight of the week was Wednesday, because after the full day of classes, the whole MFA Acting International and MA International group got together, and with our acting instructors, we all took the tube down to London and went and saw King Lear at Shakespeare's Globe. So that was cool. I had never been before, and walking up to it, I was really disappointed because it was not at all what I expected. But then I walked through the vomitories and was in the groundling space, and yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but it was amazing. So anyway, I'm gonna stop fangirling, but just being in the groundling space, and we saw King Lear, which I had never read before, so when the end happened, it broke my heart. But it was a wonderful performance, and it was a great balance between they really found the comedy in Shakespeare, which I appreciated, but it still broke your heart, and it was very minimalistic, obviously, because it's the Globe. They had some interesting themes that didn't make any sense, so that was poor production work on their part, but still a great experience. And I did have one little issue being in the groundling space because of my height. I couldn't see half the stage for most of the performance, but the actors would periodically walk through the audience, which would cause, the Red Sea to part. And so after intermission, I discovered that if I stood next to this parting, every time it happened, I would step in before everyone else did. Everyone probably hated me, but I didn't care because they were every single one of them was taller than me. So every time it parted, before they moved, I would step into the space so that I would get closer until finally I was up at the front. And I stood my ground. And I saw the rest of the play without anyone in my face. So that was great. So I went and saw King Lear at the Globe. Woo! That's really cool. And then the only other cool thing that happened that week was on Friday, I went and had fish and chips, not fish and chops, like I accidentally said on my post. I fixed it. Thank you, all of you who notified me. But fish and chips. I have to be honest, I didn't like it. I had fish and chips and mushy peas, and the peas were wanting, to say the least. And well, the fish and chips, I mean, the chips were good. I put salt and vinegar on them, and that was good. I remembered from before. But the fish, there was just so much grease. It didn't taste bad, but it was, I couldn't do it. So anyway, but you know, I did it. I had it. Now I'm done. I don't need to ever have it again. So there's that. And then Saturday, I just took a me day. Told myself I wouldn't leave my Airbnb, although I did once to get food, so I don't think that really counts. And just kind of slept a lot, just got my fam, and recuperated. Did some homework. So yeah, that was week 3. Tune in next time to hear about my bank fiasco. I just wanted to say that. I don't know if I'll talk about that. Maybe I will. There was a bank fiasco, but... Oh, also, I want to give a shout out to my friend, my dear, dear friend who just got married. You know who you are. I really wish I could have been there. But I love you, and best of luck to the both of you. I love you both. So, okay. Until next week, I love you guys. Bye.